Hi, Tabitha. Nice floral background. I made a note. And this is on, you talked about upset people. And I've been reading over my notes here. Let me see. Personal experience to share, lesson and validation. You talked about middle school teachers or professional development on vocabulary assignments and how all that. And you talked about, I thought yours was interesting because you didn't necessarily talk about an upset parent because it was on upset people. You talked about a teacher that got upset. And it was kind of interesting because it probably is odd. We expect parents to be upset and we need to deal with them. But when it's one of our own, like a colleague, it's always different. It's unique. How do you really deal with that? And how do you, because you have to continue to work with that person. I mean, you do the parent as well, but it's a different type of relationship. So I thought that you talked about you were glad you had that experience, and I'm glad you had that experience too. And often it's no different than you would with a parent. There is that process. You just have to let a person vent. I know that if I'm upset about something, whether it's like with the airlines, travel, or something like that, I just need to vent. And I don't want someone to interrupt me and say, I understand how you feel. I want to finish my thought process. I want to explain how I feel. I don't want someone telling me they know. So we have to always be very cognizant of that. And most companies train their employees not to be stupid and make some comment like that. We don't actually go through trainings as principals to really know how to deal with that. It's kind of touch and base. So the internship is really the most practical place for you to understand that. And when you think about that, it is kind of a coaching process, because when you're dealing with that person, it's always better just to ask questions, because if you ask questions, if you're probing, it makes them feel that you're being sincere, which you actually should be. But you can ask questions such as, how did that make you feel? What did you actually see? What do you think happened? Why do you think that happened? What do you think should be done? If you continue to just use that coaching technique to ask those questions, it really is great in helping parents, because sometimes they can come to terms with it themselves. They figure it out on their own. It's teaching. It really is. It's teaching them how to take facts, dissect it, and then a lot of times you can say, well, what do you think I should do? What is the outcome that you want from this? And if you go through that process, they vent and they literally can give you a lot more information to help you with your decision-making process. And I think these are great examples of the micro-political management process. And I think you kind of talked about that, but that is that leadership model that we're talking about, because that's politics, that's human behavior, learning how to deal with it. That was a great example with the teacher, that the students must come first. And while you value teachers, students have to come first. They're the priority. They're at the top of the food chain. Probably food chain wasn't a good way to say that. They're at the top of the pyramid, and the rest of us are all under that. And the farther you go up in leadership, the farther down that pyramid you get. So as a superintendent, you're at the bottom. You really are. You have to think of it like that. But I thought, great example. Well done. Thanks for sharing.